Right, everyone, welcome back to my channel Ramzan Reviews. Let's talk about Ghost of Tomorrow by Michael R. Fletcher. It's a grim, dark, high octane sci fi with amazing characterization and concepts. The book is of almost 400 pages, 395 pages or so, released in 2017 by Michael R. Fletcher. Let's talk about the cover. The cover is so badass, love it. The cover has one of the Android uh, combat chassis, as they are called, named Arcaeidae on the front, having four arms, two legs, holding guns and katanas in his cowboy ninja-esque getup, and I just love it. And the title is written in big bold letters. It's it's an instantly um, lovable cover. You can just watch the cover and see that this book is going to be amazing, and it is. Let's talk about the tone and the setting of the book. It's a grim dark book, sci-fi. Most of it takes place in 2046. It means in the future, not in far future, but it's very close. 2046. There is gore, violence, children death, selling and purchasing humans as commodities. There are many trigger warnings, not sexual, but violence and gore and murder and killing of children just for the sake of their brains, and they, it's a little bit disturbing at certain points. You'll see. Let's talk about the plot. So a guy named Mark Lockner, he was a genius, developed technology in which you can scan the brains of any human beings and transfer them into storage devices, computers, and they would work just like the actual human being. They would think and each and everything, but then he developed the technology in which you can tweak and twist the brains and emotions of the scanned humans and use them for different purposes. Now what is going on, that children are being scanned, their brains are being scanned and transferred into the machines, helicopters and tanks and the computers and all sorts of android devices, in which the brain scans of these children are being used for two basic reasons. Number one, their learning abilities, they are quick to learn. Number two, their adaptability, they can follow orders easily. If you can adapt them and make them learn to follow the orders of their masters, then they become the best androids, which are called as chassis. There are different type of chassis, like there could be tanks or there could be combat chassis, just like the one in the cover. So Mafia all over the world, they kidnap and sell and purchase children, and then kill them when they are like 8 7 8 9 years old, 10 years old, to get their brain and then scan them to be transferred into these android chassis, and they become the best sort of virtual slaves. um, One of such mafia boss is Riina, who use many such combat machines called chassis. Again, this was a word I haven't heard before, so it was a difficult word for me to get into. But uh, it's good. It's good. His best combat chassis, is the one on the cover named Arcaeidae, and he's one of the main character. And he is so good. He's so good. You will know that he act and talk just like a 13-14 year of old boy, who has been given this extremely powerful combat tank or combat machine that can do almost anything, but he still acts like a 14-year-old or a 13-year-old boy. Amazing characterization. These scanned children have even have fantasies and dreams, and unwavering loyalties are programmed into their brain with a little bit twist, so they can follow almost any order of their masters without even blinking eye. The problems come when they decide to modify these mafia and these scientists decide to modify the fetuses even before they are born in the womb during the development, and to make perfect kind of brains that would fit into the scanning machines and become um, best chassis, best android. So when they perform these experiments, they get a girl who they label as 88, and she's autistic, and they scan her brain to make a perfect kind of scanned brain chassis, so they can control her. And to their surprise, she turns out to be perfect, and she starts learning and modifying. On the other hand, Mark Lochner, who was the genius behind this scanning brain technology, he faked his death and scanned his own brain to take control of his technology, and to make a better future for whole human race. And he's acting paranoid and acting like any kind of dictator or Hitler like figure who wants to make the world a better place, but is willing to sacrifice any number of souls, humans, just to achieve his goal. And the his goal become darker and darker and darker and twisted. It's so good to see his descent from this genius praised figure, CEO of a multi-billion company, to this scanned brain in a computer who is paranoid and going down and down and down from I'm not going to kill a person to killing any number of people, to use even nuclear bombs to wipe out the entire cities, etc. Then there is Griffin, who is a NATO investigator with another investigator named Nadia. They are sent to raid on. Basically, Griffin alone is sent to raid on one of the facilities where kidnapped children are held to scan their brain. And when he reached there, he only sees piles and piles of dead bodies. Man, that's gruesome. The way that scene is described, and the mass graves. There are hundreds and hundreds of children. So anyone with weak heart should not read this book. It's so good, gruesome, gory, bloody, violent, but it's not for everybody. Not for the people who are triggered by such events. So that's a trigger warning. There is blood and gore almost throughout this book. And then that after his failure, Griffin meets. He's sent on another mission with Nadia and a combat chassis of their own named Abdul Aziz Giordano. And man, that guy Abdul Aziz Giordano, he was 17 when he died as a soldier, and then his brain is scanned, transferred into this combat chassis, and he is acting like a machine, but yet he's funny. He's able to he would be able to make you smile and laugh at certain points when you don't even expect. So I just loved his character. Amazing, superbly done. So the book basically follows these 5 main characters: Mark Lochner, and then there is Griffin with Nadia and Abdulaziz Giordano, and then there is Arcaeidae, the chassis And then there is 88. Let's talk about the characters. All these characters. I have never thought that I would simply that I would say that I would love 88, who is this autistic girl brain scanned into a computer, and man, I just loved that character. 88. She was, as I said, that autistic girl uh, whose brain was scanned and transferred into the computer, and now she is evolving. She is constantly learning, growing, evolving, and I just loved her journey from this sad, scared little girl in a computer, and to grow to become the most powerful entity on the whole planet. I just love her growth and her journey. Then there is Arcaeidae. I loved Arcaeidae. He behaves just like 13-14-year-old kid in a android killing machine. Then there is Lockner and Griffin. They were fine. I loved Griffin at the end, and his attitude, the way his character developed at the end. I loved that. And even I didn't like him at the start. Then there was Abdulaziz Giordano, the NATO chassis. I loved his behavior, his attitude as well. Amazingly done. This book has some amazing character. Then the writing style, prose is simple, told in omniscient point of view. There's head hopping from within the same scene. The narrator would jump from one head to another, then to another, then to another, and that could be a big problem for some readers, because most of the readers are not accustomed to omniscient point of view, and the head hopping, they get turned off. But I guess the writer chose this point of view just to give the perspective of what the different androids and different artificial intelligence and mirrors and scanned brains are thinking at the same time. And if you can, I listened to the audiobook, and if you can just get on of first 20 minutes or 15 minutes of the book, and just try to get accustomed to the voice of the narrator, and first 20 minutes of how the book is going to work, then I guarantee you will love this. You will simply love each and every part and each and every character of this book. And there is huge number of cast of characters, side characters like Miles and his secretary, and then some other characters. All of them are really, really, really good. So what are the pros of the book? It's the best science fiction book that I have read in a very, very, very long time. I mean, this explained Darwinian evolution in terms of computer algorithms in such an amazing way. I loved it. You will know when the 88 and his mirrors are explaining the Darwinian evolution. It's amazing. Just loved it. Me, I'm a biologist, and I loved that when they explained that in very simple way. There is violence, there is gore, head cuttings, all that I don't mind at all. On the other way, I just love such things. So if you are turned off by gore and head cutting and blood, I think this book is not probably for you. But if you don't mind such things, then this book is for you. Now let's come to the cons. Prologue was not very gripping, and the beginning is a little bit slow and not very engaging. But soon, as I told you before, that if you can go on in first 15 to 20 minutes of the audiobook, then you will get accustomed to the voice of the narrator, and you will start loving and appreciating the characterization done by Michael Fletcher. Overall rating would be 9 out of 10. I just loved it so much. We'll be getting into Beyond Redemption by Michael Fletcher in January 2023. Probably the first book I would go into in 2023. I have only heard good things about it. Both of these books by Michael R. Fletcher were reviewed and recommended highly by Slowly Read on the YouTube. He's one of my favorite YouTubers, and I love his channels. He like bloody, gory, grim, dark books, which I love as well. Not always, but most of the time I do. I will give link to his reviews in the description below, and let me know what you think of the book. Have you read it or not? And if you have, what are your comments? Please like the video, subscribe to my channel. I would highly appreciate it. I'm new to the YouTube community, and I want to review whatever I read or watch. I watch and read a lot. My reading speed is not very fast, but I do read daily, and I do read or listen to audiobooks a lot. So thank you so much.